Hey everyone, it's LJ Boo Boo. It's day 4. Oh man. Dinosaurs. Whatever I did the second day, Pokemon. Doug, and now we're on the Jetsons. Because I made reference to it yesterday when I did the Doug episode. So, anyway, it kicks off with the family. They're eating breakfast. The family's talking about going to the mall. And George is like, "You're not done Christmas shopping?" And they're like, "Yeah, we just need to pick up a few more things." And George is like, "Yeah, well, I need to get to work. I'll either be at the office or at the poorhouse." Because, Jane has a list a mile long of stuff to get. And, yeah. Anyway, they're at the mall. They're looking around. George is having a Christmas party at the office. He's the only human there. So, Spacely can only afford to hire one human. He has a whole bunch of robots working for him. So, George is the only human. Spacely yells at him because I guess he's the human and he's in charge, which is wrong because, robots can kill humans easily. So, yeah. Anyway, he tells everyone to get back to work. "I hate Christmas, blah, 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 humbug. I'm Scrooge, McDuck," or whatever. And anyway, Elroy sees a guitar at the mall, and Jane says, "I'm sorry, I already brought your present, plus that is out of our price range." Which, Elroy responds, "That's okay, I can live without it, but not happily." Which, I understand that. I feel like if I had a guitar, I would be happy. No. Really though, a guitar can make you happy, right? I used to have a guitar. I wasn't really happy. So, anyway, back at the office, Rosie is at home making the eggnog. So apparently the family's made it home with the gifts. Astro and Elroy are hanging mistletoe. Astro gives Elroy a kiss, which when dogs do it, they just lick cats, dogs. That's what we tell ourselves anyway. But I think they're just, waiting for us to, when we're not looking, that way they can eat us. I'm paranoid. Anyway, the only time my cats lick me is when I have something salty on my hands. I try to wash my hands, but sometimes, you just don't get stuff off. Anywho, let's skip all that. Let's talk about they're hanging the mistletoe. Somehow Astro earlier was looking into the gifts. He's just now getting into the gift. And then he finds out that it's a robot cat. And he chases it. And the family's just laughing. And, "Oh, Astro's having such a good time. And wait till George sees." So they're waiting for George to come home so they can open the presents. Which, it's Christmas Eve. So, I don't know. We used to do presents on Christmas Eve. I know people do it during Christmas Day, which I don't want to wake up early. I don't care if it is to open presents. If it's a day off, I want to sleep in, lay in bed, relax a little bit. If I don't need to really get up and do anything, why do it? I mean, the presents are gonna be there, at 3 o'clock, right? Nah, I'm kidding. I actually do like to get up early on my days off. I've been up since like 8:30 this morning, which isn't early, but some days I get up early, and I'm like, I wish I would have slept in. Anyway, none of that's important. It's just filler. Anyway, they find out that George has to stay overtime. Astro's still chasing the toy. He catches it, grabs it by the tail. They run into the wall. The toy breaks, and Astro falls, opens his mouth. Something falls into his mouth. And he turns green and goes, I'm dying. And I've used that clip in a Facebook video talking about how people call in and they get like a mild cough or something. This was before everything happened in the world a few years ago. So that joke's not that joke didn't age well. But anyway, I'm like, people will call in sick for work. They'll have like a mild cough, and then they'll be like, I'm dying, which isn't funny, but I feel bad because I'm watching this, and I'm like, wow, I feel bad for this dog, and the dog's not even real. Anyway, George is exhausted from pressing a button all day, which I'm exhausted from writing scripts all day. With my hand's cramped. But so I can understand his pain, I guess. He's sitting there doing this all day, which can be exhausting, boring. At least I'm watching cartoons while I'm writing these scripts. Anyway, he eventually gets home. There's no vets open, so poor Astro is just laying there on the couch in pain. We cut to Spacely. He's at his office. He's surrounded by all this money. You would think if you're going to have that much money at your office, you would have like a safe or something. You wouldn't just leave it out, because what are you going to do? You're a short, tiny, weak, old man. You're not going to defend a criminal if a criminal decides to break in and steal your money, dude. You need to hire security. Make you a robot security, I mean, I'm pretty sure you can afford one of those big robots that shoot missiles at people. I mean, why don't you do that? No, I'd rather just sit here, guard my money. So, like in Scrooge, A Christmas Carol, he is visited by his old business partner, who tries to tell him to change his ways before it's too late. He doesn't. He's visited by a ghost. Christmas passed, and the ghost takes him back to his childhood. Him and George Jetson are running a lemonade stand. And George is like, look, we made a ton of money. And he takes the money. And his voice is deeper, so I'm assuming that he's like older than George. George is probably like 7 and he's probably like 13. I mean, he takes the money, but he gives George a penny. He basically finds this hilarious. He's not learning anything. The ghost then takes him further into the future. Well, not the future, but the future from his childhood. He's in his late teens or in college. He's in college. He's on a date. He tells his future wife, okay, I love money more than you, but I love you more than I love Spaceball, which is their baseball, I guess. And she's like, I don't know. And, he's like, what's wrong with wanting to be rich? Which she's like, okay, blah, blah, blah. And, they're talking about stuff. And he's like, okay, how about this? I'll take a half day off on our wedding day. And apparently that was the icebreaker that he needed to marry her. I'm going to try that line out. Let me write that down. If you marry me, I will take a half day off on our wedding day. Okay, I mean, sure, why not? Anyway, he's like, look, I can be flexible, see? Now take me home. He gets back home. He thinks this is a really bad dream. And the ghost of Christmas present appears. And the Christmas present is you guessed it, a Christmas present. Anywho, the ghost of Christmas present takes Spacely to the Jetson house to see that they have the sick dog, Astro, and he's like, okay, so what do you want me to do about it? I don't care. I got my own problems. I gotta guard my money because I can't afford security and I can only hire one human to work for me. And he goes back to the office and he's like, man, this is a bad dream. I'm taking my money and I'm going home. So he's pushing his money out the door, which you don't even have a bag for it or anything, a suitcase. You just have it in like a little wheelbarrow and you're gonna roll it out the door, huh? That doesn't seem safe at all. I mean, what happened to safe? Even the crappy gas station I used to work at, they had a safe. Anywho, on his way out, the ghost of Christmas yet to be comes, shows him the Jetsons living in a big mansion-looking house, and they hear the conversation that the Jetson family actually sued Spacely for wrongful death for Astro. Astro's dead. But wait. It's not over. But they say Spacely was on Skid Row, which means the Jetsons might live in LA. Skid Row is like a neighborhood that has like a high homeless rate. So if you didn't know, now you know. Basically, he's homeless. He got divorced. He's in poverty, and he's probably on his way to dying, just like Scrooge. Anyway, they talk about how they had to sue him because the toy was made by Spacely sprockets, and Astro has swallowed the sprocket, and that's what caused everything. So Spacely realizes, oh no, I better go help them before I get sued. He has a change of heart, basically. And it's not just with the Jetsons, it's with his wife too. Because he grabs the picture of his wife is angry in the picture, he kisses it, and she gets a big smile on her face, which would be kind of neat if they ever do something like that. You like have a picture of someone and you punch it and they go, and you kiss it, and they're like, but anyway, he gets his vet out of bed, goes over to the Jetson house. Somehow he manages to get a bunch of gifts too. The vet saves Astro by putting his hand down Astro's throat, retrieving the cog, or the sprocket, not the cog. Cog is the rival company, which has no mention in this episode. So anyway, basically gives them all a bunch of gifts. He gives Elroy the guitar. Judy gets some rollerblades. Jane gets perfume. Orbity gets some kind of treat. Astro, of course, got his life saved. And he's giving George a big fat raise. And as he's driving off, the Jetsons start singing, "We Wish You a Merry Christmas." But who are they singing that to? Are they singing it to Mr. Spacely? Or are they singing it to the viewer? I would like to think they're singing it to Mr. Spacely, because that would be kind of neat. But it might be like a double thing. They might be singing to both. So anyway, happy ending. No one dies. Nobody gets sued. Again. And everyone's happy. I just want to watch an episode of something where someone gets sued. Grandma got run over by a reindeer. But that's not in my list this year. So I'm going to have to be disappointed this year, I guess. I never get what I want for Christmas.